So, I was wondering whether I should even make this video or not. I already made a whole pretty long video on Mr. Enter. I described my feelings toward him, how I really don't care for him and didn't hate him, at least when that video was made, but since then he's come up with this rant. And on his channel he said he's gonna go and take a break, and supposedly I guess it's due to all this stress and whatever else that's going on in his life, but even with that, he came up with this rant, and I just think it was, well, childish. I think it was a really just a bad way to go and get what he thought out. And I can get why he's upset. His little thing was a failure. All the people who knew it was going to fail are rubbing it in his face saying, "I told you so," and now he just has all these people going after him and saying that, yes, you're not all that great of a reviewer and whatever else. So I just wanted to go and read through it and give my 2 cents on what I think of this. I think is a really, really bad rant. It kind of made me just angry, and it kind of made me rethink of what I think of him. But let's go ahead and get started. Most of you are waiting. Let's see what he has to say. If you'll pardon me, I want to get some things off my chest. In my last journal entry, I said that one of these days I'd just not care for anymore. I don't think that today is that day, but I feel that I'm more open to speaking from the heart about some of the things that piss me off, and from what I've been keeping bottled up. It might be petty here, and again, I don't know, I don't really care. Let's start with something fun, I guess. The comments that tell me, or anyone really, to kill themselves or seem excited that someone is going to. I don't get this. What do you get over it? Here's a better question. What if someone does kill themselves because of your comments? Let me guess, it wasn't your fault. You had absolutely nothing to do with it, or you're going to tell someone else you're going to like to kill themselves. So, I'm guessing he's been getting a bunch of people going to tell him to kill himself, and yes, I agree. It's immature, it's stupid, those people should feel ashamed of themselves. And here's the thing. If you're a reviewer, or just make lots of videos on the internet of anything, you're going to get those comments. I've gotten those comments. Some of my favorite YouTubers have gotten those comments. No matter what, you're probably going to get them at one point if you at least get someone popular or just make a video that's controversial or anything like that. You're going to get those comments. And Enter is just kind of making it seem like he's the only one who's really getting them. And yes, I agree. They are really stupid. The people who said this should be ashamed of themselves. But Enter, don't go and pretty much say that you're a saint. You are no saint. And I would go and describe it later in the video. Let's go ahead and read a little bit more of this. I get it, they're just trolls, but I'm sick and tired of this shit. Do you know what's driving me over the line here? The people that I know are getting shit on just because they know me. Pie Guy Rules was harassed over his video on my IndieGoGo because he didn't really crucify me. He didn't say it was good or that it was a chance of succeeding. He had a lot of criticism about it, but he wasn't harsh enough. People doxed my editor just because he was my editor. Well, let's look at this. Pie Guy Rules, for what I know, didn't go and block anyone who doesn't agree with him, or just has always fans go after people if they go and criticize him. Pie Guy Rules, I really don't watch him too much. I watch him sometimes, but I really don't care for anybody in the cartoon community, actually, but he's probably the person I watch the most. And if people want and criticize him for going and standing up to you, I can see why, and I can't see not why. Because he's... How do I describe this? He doesn't really agree with you, I think, on a lot of the things. And I think it surprised a lot of people that he was kind of supporting you in this and not. But... And then you also say that people doxed my editor just because he was my editor. Well, that's his fault. If people are going to go and align something with you, they're going to go and say something bad about the person who goes and beats with you, and that happens all the friggin' time. You see that everywhere, Mr. Ender. You want to go and force politics into your show, so what about this? If someone goes and aligns itself with Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton, then they're going to see that person as just as bad. Oh, you like Donald Trump? Well, you must be a racist. Oh, you like Hillary Clinton? Well, you must like beefs. You see where I'm going with this? Because that person aligns themselves with you, they're just going to see themselves as another... The people who don't like you are going to see themselves as just another person who's like Enter. Even if they're completely different, that's the way they're going to see it, sadly. It's not about people not liking me or holding me to what I've done years ago. It's people going batshit crazy because they don't like that someone who makes YouTube videos that they don't like. You mean like how you go and make reviews of cartoons that you don't like, and you go and try to go and destroy those people's lives who wrote them? People want to stay out of the way to invade the privacy of another person who simply works for a person who does, getting tongue-tied, who says something that they don't like over the internet. I want to say this right now. If you think you're justified or funny, you're a fucking miserable pile of filth who will never amount to anything. Oh, that makes two of you. And the second that you do amount to something and that they discover what you want to do in your spare time, any reasonable person would give you back down to the hole you belong in. You take cartoons too seriously. I get this one a lot. So, our cartoon reader takes cartoons too seriously. In videos talking about cartoons, when most of his audience only cares about what he has to say about cartoons, that person takes cartoons too seriously. Maybe he should start making some videos about interactive dance. That seems like a perfect idea. I'm sure this would benefit everything involved. I agree that I used to take them too seriously when I was insulting people over bad writing episodes. So at least he's admitting that when he insulted the writers, he was being bad. I'm not sure if he does this or not. I don't watch his videos. I don't care for his videos. But if he still does it, then he's making himself looking really hypocritical right now. But he did always take cartoons really, really seriously. And I said that in my other video where he always says that cartoons have to have morals in it and no mean-spiritedness, as if you're going to watch this cartoon, it's going to change your life. So, in a way, you do take some cartoons too seriously. Maybe you've changed since then. And if you are, then I stand by that. What I do now is put aside a bunch of time to watch through them, put together a script to integrate my points, and try to make it entertaining. I put a lot of time into it. Maybe they might seem because it's my job now. Maybe it's because some called passion, something foreign to this effect who take something in their life seriously. I wonder if Weird Al takes music seriously. I wonder if George Carlin takes comedy seriously. I wonder if I'm not as talented in cartooning as either of them are in their respective field. But if taking something too seriously in itself is a problem, then you need to have a problem with anyone who had any success in anything. I do feel sorry for a lot of the trolls. Yes, in a continuing view, they tend to attack someone because somebody cares about something that they last along the way. Some of them are disaffected teenagers who are out of the edge, and some of them aren't. They're never able to do something, able to like something among their peers, because I be defaced. They never feel passionate about anything because then they'll be taken too seriously. And life's not meant to be taken seriously. We're meant to live, do whatever, and die. It's all pointless, man. Sheesh, that's a bad way to go and put things. It's something that that sounds like something that some kind of freaking emo would say. Not take life seriously at all? I mean, that is messed up, Mr. Enter. It is messed up. They never be able to take anything about what. They'll never be able to try to take anything without being freaking hypocrites, because they attack people just for trying, just like you have. While we're on the subject, just block the trolls, proxy accounts, sock puppets, throwaway emails, and oh yeah, attacking other people. I know it makes it much difficult to block someone. Literally, the only way to stop trolls from trolling you is to bore them, and making it harder for them to get a rise out of you. Some of them is just to see as a challenge. Once again, I've been a content creator for half a decade. I have experience in this shit. The best way to get rid of trolls is to go and just ignore them. If that's what you meant by boring them, I'm not really sure or not, but if you want to get rid of the trolls, you just don't pay attention to them. Eventually, they will go and stop, because to them it's just pointless to go and keep trying. And they will go at whoever else they want to go at next. You can't take criticism. I love this statement. Even if you're not talking about me, you can't take criticism. It's what we call a Kafka trap. A Kafka trap is something that you can't fight without proving that criticism is right. Seriously, go up to anyone and tell them that they can't take criticism. They're either trying not to fight back, thus proving the statement is right, or they're trying to fight it, proving that the statement that they can't take criticism. Proving that they can't take criticism, whether it's not true, it's just weak and you're going to need to do something better than that. Maybe I can take criticism. I don't know. Maybe because I just don't know exactly want to listen to these videos that focus on calling me an autistic Asperger or even worse. I mean, should I dignify them? Here's my Defiant team. Fuck them. Also, hope you can figure out what's fortunate with the community that you're in. The community. Just make sure that you're absolutely perfect for never make any mistakes ever. Just like the SpongeBob writers. Because the second thing you do, every second single of them, of the peers, is going to race to communicate on you. At this point, I'm considering being the first. And true, I do tend to limp on these things with the trolls, but it's a step up from asshole drama. In my opinion, also, get sunned, literally, every one of them is shit. I've been hearing for 3 years mixed in with a nice spaz of insults. The reason why no one respects the commentary community is because they all say the same damn things about the same damn people. Even when one of them complains is that he don't shut up about that Sponge show. Here's the way I see criticism. If someone is criticizing you, even if they're doing it just to troll you or they hate you, I think criticism can help. If you listen to that person on what you're messing up on or what they hate, you can go and try to improve on it. So, if maybe if you messed up, or maybe you do something like your intro is too long, you can go and try to fix that. I've gotten people who say my intros are too long, and yeah, they kind of are. They're usually about 20 or more seconds. And they're really not even that great looking a lot of the time. If you try to go and improve on what they don't like, then if you do improve on it, they can't go and hate it on anymore. And you improved on something, and furthermore, they can't criticize that. Sure, they might go and criticize something else, but if you do improve on something and the vast majority of people agree on it, then you did something good. But if you don't just listen and you just go like, you can't say that, well, you're going to mess up on that forever, because you just can't go and take criticism, you refuse to listen, and you're going to go and live in your own little freaking world. If you really can't take criticism, then you shouldn't be in this industry. You're going to go and keep getting tons and tons of hate comments, and it'll be your own freaking fault. And you probably won't even blame yourself for it. Trolls aren't the real reason governments and corporations are trying to censor the internet. You're probably right. Governments want more control and corporations want to keep their monopolies on everything. But trolls are pretty much damn good scapegoats. They're common. They don't even improve everyone's lives. But their internet loves to just accept them. It's just like trolling is the main argument point these guys have. It's not that people actually have vote or don't want to have their kids doxxed or have idiots make business 10 times harder than it needs to be. Trolls are always going to be on the internet, unfortunately. It's always going to be there. They're always going to be racist. They're always going to be sexist. There are always going to be people who are going to hate you for your religion. There are always going to be people who are going to hate you for your sexuality. They are always going to be there. Utopias on Earth don't exist. And they never will. As long as the internet is around, there will always be trolls. Always. Getting hateful comments is a badge of honor on the internet. It's about the level of getting a flat tire. I mean, to get one, it means that I can afford a car, but life would be better off without them. Oh, please, Enter. Like you've never made a mean comment before. I have made mean comments. In real life and on the internet. You are no saint. Are you telling me that you've never gone to someone and freaking said some kind of insult to them or name call them? Are you telling me that you have never tried to hurt someone or at least think hurt upon them? If you say that you haven't, you are lying. Everyone has. In a way, everyone is a bully. So, you're a bully. And it's kind of out of place to go and bring this up, but on his little cartoon, he kind of went and put himself in there as the dad. And the dad, in my opinion, looks nothing like Mr. Ender. He kind of looks all buff, he's built up, and he's handsome looking. And I always find that really funny when cartoonists put themselves in cartoons. It's pretty much just a fantasy version of them. It's pretty much them to perfection. They like to go and make themselves good looking, get rid of any blemishes or anything ugly about them. They like to go and make themselves just this perfect being because that's the way they see themselves. And I'm guessing that's the way Mr. Ender sees himself on the cartoon. He sees himself as this respectful, all-knowing guy who gives good advice, is the perfect dad, does nothing wrong. That's the way Mr. Ender is. Your IndieGoGo was a disaster. Yep, I started an IndieGoGo project that didn't make its goal. It's not like I hit 4 times my budget and kept my backers in the dark, made an insulting trailer, neglected to anyone backers of words, and then delivered a mediocre project that looked worse than the concept art. Yep, my IndieGoGo was an absolute disaster because it didn't hit its budget. Like 44% of crowdfunding campaigns, it's the hidden version of crowdfunding campaigns. They're going to make talking about this for years and years in the books. Future crowdfunders are going to look, especially in this case, and learn everything that they're not going to be able to do. And that's going to give them literally all the knowledge that they're going to be able to need. Yes, people are going to look at you, Enter, at you. I said on my other video that you're only known in the cartoon community. Everywhere else, you're unknown. If you had a more realistic goal, you would have met it. And I'm pretty sure that even real cartoonists who have made their own stuff would have said that you had to go at a lower goal, and that you were crazy at making the one you wanted to make. And as I said in the other video again, usually if someone's not interested, they're not going to go and donate to you. If someone spends most of their money on IndieGoGo donating to apps or anything like that, they're not going to donate to you because it's not going to benefit them. So furthermore, you're not going to reach your goal. People usually only go on these things when it benefits them, when they get something. The only time I've really ever seen it go the other way around is when it's going to try to go and save a kitten or a child. And yeah, everyone wants to do that, but if it's for a cartoon from an unknown person, forget it. You're not going anywhere. You're miserable because your crowdfunding campaign failed. No, not really. A little bit annoyed, but some dipshits got satisfaction from dancing on the ashes. But just a little. I don't know, this whole rant that I'm still going on about makes it look a lot worse. On my Twitter rant, someone replied to me with posts asking questions about growing around, which is fine. People ask things that are awkward at times, all the times, but it's the wording that was managed to annoy me. There was a bunch of questions that the one asked, getting really tongue-tied now, the one asked, this is a question that you just can't avoid. What happens if some kind of sexual crime occurs? You tell me, is this a question you can't avoid? You need to answer this, unless it's like against a serious occasion. The answer you get is, fuck you, I'm not talking to you. Yeah, I need to answer that question because it's something brought up in each and every piece of childhood media. This is a question that must be brought up in Narnia, Hogwarts, Willy Wonka's factory, and Cinderella's castle. Only in all those, children don't rule the world. Do they, Mr. Enter? In Hogwarts, the people who rule the castle are adults. In Willy Wonka himself is an adult. And even then, at the end, he's not actually going and giving the factory to Charlie then. He's going to wait until he's an adult. What are you trying to go and say right here? Putting sexual stuff in children's cartoons when it's directed to children is weird. What if there was some kind of Doug episode where he got his first erection? Wouldn't that be just a wonderful episode to go and have about? Doug and Skeeter talking about his erection for Patty. I don't know. Maybe it's karmic, but maybe it's because I take things too seriously. People absolutely need to take my things too seriously. Oh wait, I thought that I was the hypocrite. I get that a lot too, but it's not bad when I take things too seriously. But everyone else is allowed to take my things too seriously. Also, it's kind of humorous. The worst thing that this person has done is insult someone who can make a creation that didn't like it, and I'm going to listen to someone insult someone who's insulting someone who can make a creation I didn't like. I could go on and on about this, and as perfect isn't this, but now's not the time. Kids can't really rule the world. I get this, surprisingly a lot. You guys really enjoy other works of fiction. From now on, I'm going to link you to this. Yes, kids can't really rule the world. And you know what? Animals can't talk, and rabbits can't be police officers. Well, maybe they can. I mean, a police officer could go and make a rabbit a police officer. Yeah, that could possibly happen. I mean, they probably can't talk, but they can't be a police officer. We technically have dog police officers, so a rabbit can be a police officer. They're really fast, but how they're going to go and get the criminal is, yeah, that will be probably a little bit more difficult. Have you read Lord of the Flies, huh? No. Not only do people really think reality and fiction are the same, but people think all fictions exist in the same universe. Now here's the thing about Lord of the Flies. It wasn't really about kids. Its philosophy was that just not kids. All mankind is doomed to savagery about the correcting force of society. The main characters are just children because they don't have the least influence from society. Even adults, according to the text and the themes, should end up like boys. And it's something that I fundamentally disagree with. If humans were doomed to becoming wild without the corrupting force of society, then society couldn't spring up in the first place. But seriously, people like throwing Lord of the Flies at me like it's a documentary. It's some kind of humorous number one. It's a piece of fiction. There's no guarantee that that's how kids would really act. 2, all fictional universes are different. How the characters get up from planet to planet is different in Star Wars and Star Trek, for instance. Thirdly, Lord of the Flies was a deconstruction story. It only exists because there were many stories about the scenario happening without a hitch. So get educated, dumbass. Oh, get educated. That's a really PC thing to say. I've heard that phrase so much from people who usually think they know what they're talking about, but then in the end they don't. I've never read Lord of the Flies, so I really can't go and touch upon it on that part, so let's go ahead and move on from there. We want me to accept criticism. You need to show me that you actually understand what I'm going for. You need to understand what you're going for. This is something that I need to do well in my own views. Also, I need to actually know what you actually want me to project that is good. Let's just say I'm used to hearing, "This sucks, quit, and go kill yourself." What do you think about Bush's campaign? You know, Bush Hartman the liar? Is the concept of my own campaign pretty humorous? 350K is asking too much for one episode and one animated TV series, they said to me. While they also said to him, 250K isn't even enough for one episode of one animated series. I love irony, I really do, even though I still don't know what the fuck it really is. Andrew, like I said before, you should have never made a full episode like you wanted to. It should have been a short. That is more close to reality. A lot of pilots are usually shorts. You were asking too much, okay? Accept it. And before I go on, Bush Hartman, as bad as he is right now, he's famous, so he probably knew that, or at least thought he was going to make it. And then he didn't see that he was going to make it first, and then he made it at the very last second. But because he's famous, he was probably just more confident that he was going to make it. And so, but Hartman, I'm surprised people are bringing him up, because after what he did, I don't think people really want to have anything to do with him anymore. There are things that I don't want to talk about, but I don't want to start drama. You just made a whole rant that's going to start drama. This is drama right here. Believe it or not, I'm just venting. I've heard from that's healthy. I guess the only thing I can say is I don't think about it. I am just tired of too much of it. I truly believe my hatred has gotten out of hand. Yes, I know everyone gets to hate them, even as instant hate them. But the length of which some people go to annoy me or even harm me on the internet I didn't care about has gotten freaking ridiculous. Maybe you should get off the internet, dipshit. I don't think I can. I mean, if an employer searches through the lies of this shit about me, they ain't gonna be like, still because of your shenanigans, you're stuck with me. I ain't ever leaving. When you're popular on the internet, you're always going to get a hate dump. No matter what. The Nostalgia Critic has a hate dump. Fred has a hate dump. Alpha Omegason has a hate dump. If you get a lot of views and subscribers, you're going to have a hate dump. No matter what. And you got to be prepared for that, Enter. You need to know that as someone who gets lots of views and lots of subscribers. And the best way to take it is just to go and acknowledge that. And if you don't, it's it's going to come back at you much, much harder. That's one of the reasons I think the hate is getting worse. Because you're not acknowledging it. And you're letting your hate just get bigger and bigger. I just don't know what else to say about you. And I also want to go and go through some of the comments because some of them were really quite humorous. Okay, so super short version if you don't got the time, let me buy you a drink. The world is full of bad people disguised as good people. And some people don't even bother disguising themselves. Trust me, I was on the receiving end of that. And now I seldom trust anyone I have to meet face to face. And this whole de facto of the bad people trying to turn your family and friends against you, plus the whole can't block them and they can't attack anyone part, that sounds a lot like someone I personally experienced in 2014. It made me disappear for 4 whole years, and like an infection, it hasn't gone away on its own, and I'm sorry to see you have become infected by the same plague that hit me. That is, they want you to be around. They want you to keep ranting like this, because it gives them something to riff on. All the things like taking cartoons too seriously all failed especially in effects to try and distract from the harm these types are actually causing. There is no excuse for this toxicity, and there is no forgiving it. It's fundamentally impossible for someone like that to respect or change, but I am counting on these behaviors patterns being hard-dried or therefore irreversible. In other words, like with other people mental handicaps, there is no cure. There is no cure for chronic bullying, and there is no cure for autism. Actually, I appreciate those who you call trolls. Let's call them who they really are, bullies. As I said before, everyone is a bully. Find statistic pleasure in stirring up discussions like the other one you came up with here and now. It's one thing to be critical and to tell it is like it is. I do all the time, but the magnitude of destructive behavior on display crosses the line. You're right about attacking people trying. It's a disgrace. I'm not sure about specifically cause of this, but I think one incident is that randomly enables toxicity. If you're brave enough to back your goofy username with your real username, and you should be legit, that said, it's not idiot-proof, as people should just pick a random name and that's used to the real world. And because people actually lie about who they are. The crowdfunding project, because it is actually what I wish I could call for pay for the course, is because I have a rule of life. The least exciting answer is that I always the correct one, assuming that holds true here. Your efforts fall neatly in line with that trend, a modest anticlimax. There's nothing to be ashamed of, and like the rest of us, it's for lack of trying. At least you did try. I don't like it as a concept because of Star Citizen taught me their way, but only projects, never promises, and as for the other side of these roles, I say that this to anyone now, don't quit your day job. It's good you're intending to follow your dreams, but this kind of anticlimax is effectively guaranteed in all of your years of post-school life, which, from what I heard, Enter is not really a school version. He hates education. Go get your hopes up and we're let down. It's normal and reasonable to be disappointed, but be honest, tell the truth. Honorary attitude says, get used to it. Now it's like, we should tell Hitler that. It's just, never give up your dream, Hitler. Go and attack the Jews. Kill everyone. Don't give up on your dream. All that said, I'm curious. Growing around was intended to handle heavy situation where the kids were in charge, and who's sexually legal in that kind of culture. I understand if even you want to touch that with a 10-foot lightsaber blade, but still, I'm not attacking for the taboos, and as that Matt Stone and Trey Parker diminish, they can handle stories about kids making sex, and those cartoonists don't walk the streets as free men. Specific example includes Erection Day, Miss Teacher Being a Boy, and The Ring. Matt Trey and Parker were part of the reason I came back from the void cast upon in 2014. The real reason is that what rating is growing around. It's in the aim for. Is it to be Y7 like Powerpuff Girls, or the myth of the legendary warrior, or M-rated like South Park or My Hero Team, something else entirely? If it is complicated than slapping a letter on a number to it. I legitimately want to answer, good sir. If your answer is fuck you, well, alright then. I'll just go and literally fuck myself, like I always do, from now on every day for the rest of my life. Here's the thing. South Park is an adult show. That's why it handles those kinds of subjects. It's not meant for children. And from what this Mr. Enter show looks like, it is meant to be for children. South Park is also a comedy. It doesn't take itself seriously. Erection Day didn't take itself seriously. It was an episode where Jimmy gets a freaking erection and he has to go and bang someone. That's what it's about. And he needs to do it so he can be in the talent show and not get embarrassed. You just put up a really weak argument there. And to me, there's no such thing as taking things too seriously. Personally, I'd rather be with someone that takes everything seriously versus someone who takes nothing seriously. But that's just personality taste. But more seriously, no pun intended, that's what I like about fantasy and fiction. Kids can rule the world, super lasers, and superpowers can exist. Girls can be badasses and not be formally a man, aka transgender, and so on. Girls can be badasses in real life. Are you saying that they can't be cool? P.S. I'm jealous of your following when I'm compared to the 0% that cared about me. P.P.P.S. I'm on Discord too. Know me if you see this. Alright, there was another one I wanted to look at, mostly because I thought it was funny. And it didn't really have anything to do with the rant itself, and I just was wondering why it was just brought up, and it made all these people go and made them stupid too, so let's go ahead and read it. So, it pretty much starts because of this guy. The last few lines gave me the impression that you've gained some thick skin over the years. Still, from the rest of the article, I can tell that you hurt inside. Indeed, our society needs to glorify petty brokering way too much. Just look at half the shit they throw in reality TV half the time. I still appreciate what you do, even if growing around doesn't get animated. I'll still enjoy the comic strips. Also, if the strips get a decent sized fandom, people might make some fan animations. Trump being president certainly does not help in that regard. Him and his hug colonies pretty much do nothing to try and browbeat people to submission. His supporters are truly disturbing and on his fascist assholes who get so thoroughly brainwashed that there is no hope over ever convincing them that their beliefs are insane and wrong. It's the typical, if you don't agree with my political beliefs, you are evil arguments. I've seen this so much from both sides, and whenever I see it, I just can't help but go and slap myself in the face because these people are being so freaking stupid and they're not helping their side at all. They're just hurting it. And Quintix, how do you know that you're not the brainwashed one, may I ask? That is a possibility, I think. It is also possible that the Trump supporters are definitely the brainwashed ones, but I do not think we should question out that you are the one who is brainwashed. Just to go and get that out there. And saying that their beliefs are insane and wrong? All of them? Really? In a way, and are you also saying that pretty much all of your beliefs are right? That you have the answers to everything? Well, if that's the case, you should become a freaking world leader if you have the answers to everything. Become president. Get rid of all the evil on this planet. If you think it's that easy of a job, go ahead and do it, Quintex. I believe in you. But really, I think, to me, there's really no such thing as a wrong or right belief, because it's going to be different to everybody. What might be a right belief right now could be a wrong belief 10 years in the future. 50 years ago, a right belief was pretty much just saying that homosexuals were terrible people, that they were going to hell and they can't ever get married. Now, of course, we know that was completely wrong and horrible, and we've moved on, and they can get married now because they're people. They should be able to. So, to me, it's just a really dumb argument, and it goes on right here. That's exactly what I was about to say about Democrats. You're just making it worse. You're just as bad as that guy is. Then you are extremely ignorant, stupid and ignorant. And so you do the very thing that you are just criticizing Trump and his supporters for. Not really, no, you are full of crap. Why are you bringing politics into a Mr. Interpost? Thank you, Nit's World. Thank you. At least my party realizes that socialism is always doing the bailout and causes suffering all around the world. You're making it worse again. You're just pissing him off and starting this whole debate. Kind of hard to avoid politics these days. Plus, I'm willing to bet a lot of people shouting ableist remarks at Mr. Enter are Trump supporters. How do you know that? Do you have proof that they are Trump supporters? Exactly. Except a majority of the Mr. Enter Renegade are ex-Mr. Enter fans who, despite claiming otherwise, are just as retarded and spurgly as other Mr. Enter himself and Mr. Enter's fans. Oh yeah, it's not ableist, it's retards kicking other retards. And before you call me an ableist Trump supporter, I have mild autism, hypernoid, and I didn't vote for either side because both sides sound like a bunch of shit sticking around with shit that doesn't matter. And I'm pretty sure this one came first. You are an ableist piece of shit. That sounds like something straight from Tumblr. You can still be a bigot even if you have mental health issues. There are trans people like Lacey Green who are transphobic, and minorities like David Clark and Ben Clarkson who hate other black people. Since when is Lacey Green trans? I don't remember that being there. She's not trans, is she? I'm pretty sure she isn't. This whole both sides is false is getting tiresome, and there are lots of other things that Dems were talking about that does freaking matter to minorities. You must be white and privileged if none of this matters to you. Go to hell, loser. And that's why I think it came after, because he got blocked. Actually, I'm Asian, and I actually understand what you mean by privilege. Privilege is what? What advantages do I get for being who I am? Do you know that in the education system and job market that Asians are held to a stricter standard than other races? Am I being ableist? All you did was put examples of people who you consider to be prejudiced in their own groups, which I take with a grain of salt, as you always seem to be a negative bias against them. And finally, my stand on both sides sticking around during the election is ultimately opinion. Who are you to attack me for both sides' neutral light? In fact, your argument can be used by Republican supporters. Yes, there are lots of things that the cons that we're talking about does bring matter to whites and upper middle class who still be equally worthless because you haven't actually specific examples of the side focusing on the topics worth caring about. I think you should stop acting superior, because let's admit it, we're both losers during the same thing. We're both peasants standing in ankle-high cow shit. Don't pretend to be a king and whine about it than people who call you out for your unwarranted sense of self-importance. Tom, thank you. Thank you for that. I think you are probably guaranteed the smartest person on this whole page. On all these pages, you are the smartest person, I guarantee it. Thank you for that, Tom. Thank you. And there are tons of other little commentators, pretty much just saying that he shouldn't give up, and they're going to say stuff to him. Just your typical, not cringy stuff right there. So I don't think I'm going to go on and rig on any of them. So, Mr. Enter, I'm not really sure if you learned anything from this or not. If you haven't, don't expect things to change. They're just going to go and get worse. the trolls will be there, the haters will be there, your cartoon, it might never succeed. It won't get any better for you. But maybe if you do go and listen to people, it might change for you. Maybe that cartoon of yours might get some light on it. It's still unlikely, but it might happen. That's all I really had to say to you. And I'm sorry for the way I talked in this video. I got lost a ton, and I probably sound someone who's just you can't understand it all. It probably actually happens a lot when I'm talking often really fast. So that's my fault. I'm sorry about that. But that's all I really wanted to go and get off my chest for this. Chances are, I was probably just as bad as Inter was in this. I'm probably no better in this argument than he was, so go in and put it upon me as well. Give me your opinions, because probably I deserve them. Other than that, good day.